Hello everybody, my name is Jalise. Welcome out everybody to my Game of Thrones versus Vikings, the final season everybody. We're comparing both final seasons, Game of Thrones and Vikings. Because for some odd reason, a lot of people who watch the Vikings ending compared this to Game of Thrones and said this is bad, or it's just as worse. Or it's even worse than Game of Thrones, which is basically those people are idiots. But let's go over it. Let's go over about what each show's about. Game of Thrones, it's a fantasy show. What's the two things it needs to do for the final season? It needs to end. It needs to end the White Walker storyline. It needs to end the who's going to sit on the Iron Throne storyline. Vikings is basically historical fantasies that's supernatural. And I know it's based off actual history and all that stuff, but Vikings, the TV show, had a little bit of supernatural in it, and it was never completely historically accurate. So all those Viking fans who want historical accuracies and all stuff, watch a fucking documentary. It's a TV show, and it's not going to be historically accurate. Not completely, so screw those people for that one. Now, what was Vikings the entire thing about for the final season? How the characters were going to go out. How the Vikings were eventually going to be the final season. What was going to be the main thing? Of showing how the Vikings slowly lose. Not only in battle, but their culture. How slowly it starts to disappear. And which show did better with their themes, and which show better with their message. Well, Game of Thrones. The Iron Throne. Okay, before we get into who sits on the Iron Throne, let's take a look at the characters. Jaime Lannister. A character who had so much development, who was going back and forth between being a good guy, bad guy, ultimately chooses Cersei at the end. And they died together. Such character progression went down the freaking drain. Tyrion Lannister. In love with Daenerys Targaryen, apparently? Who could not possibly see how she went like this. Varys the Spider. Do I need to explain how tragic and stupid his character was? How stupid he became? Grey Worm. After the death of Daenerys Targaryen, he does not kill Jon Snow, and he just accept that Jon Snow is going to go to the north, going to join the Night Watch, and Grey Worm's just going to sail away, and that's it. And protect the isle that Missandei wanted him to protect. Oh no, it's not like right after Jon Snow kills Daenerys Targaryen, you're telling me Grey Worm wouldn't kill him. Okay. Bran becomes king. You know, in the same season where they said that Bran is like, I'll never be king, I'll never be nothing, I'm the three-eyed raven. Then he gets to King's Landing, he's like, what do you think I came all this way for? Bran the Broken becomes king. Oh, you gotta subvert expectations. You gotta wow the audience. It doesn't make sense. Daenerys Targaryen. What happened with her character? Oh, you know this woman who has struggled all her life just to get to the Iron Throne. She becomes very insane, very crazy, very quickly, and burns the entire King's Landing apart. Burns women and children alive, and becomes the Mad Queen. Is there essence she could do her full thing? Is there essence that she could kill people and burn people? Yes. But there's a big difference of killing soldiers and murdering kids. I mean, there was no foreshadowing of her character going dark. I mean, there could have been potential if they build it up, but no. We had to accept this because she's the Mad Queen, and our expectations were her and Jon Snow were going to take the Iron Throne. It didn't have to be them. Anything could have been better than Bran Stark becoming that. The King of the Iron, the person who was going to take the Iron Throne. Oh, but they burned the Iron Throne. Remember, Drogon burned the Iron Throne, so it's the symbolism of the monarchies. Do I need to explain the storytelling of this season? What about the White Walkers? What did they do for the White Walkers? Well, Arya Stark kills the Night King. Not Jon Snow. The one that they're building it up to those two fighting. The Invincible Army gets stopped at Winterfell. I have heard better fan fictions than this. Remember when all the zombies were on top of Brienne, Jaime, Bran? I mean, there was like the Tyrion and Sansa were down in the crypts too, so it's just like Even actors know it's bad. People are arguing about this. I mean, it is clearly. I don't even know what to get into. I literally do not have the words still for the Game of Thrones finale. And for people who are agreeing that this show was great, that this finale was great, all the characters' reputation went down the toilet. Their themes, their themes and their goals at the end. Who was gonna sit on the Iron Throne is Bran. Stupid. Didn't make no sense. Especially when a character said that he wasn't ever gonna be king. But no. Vikings is terrible. Let's go over Vikings' journey. Let's see the characters. Bjorn Ironside dies in the first episode of the finale. Of the series finale, of the final season. He dies, he goes out as a great warrior. He's not immortal. He is damaged. He could die at any time. Bjorn Ironside dies. He dies in the finale. He rallies the troop, but he still dies, and he goes out in a courageous Viking way. He was not the most perfect human being. He was not a great father, but he was, in some cases not a good leader, but he was a person who the Vikings will unite behind. That type of character, that type of person is inspirational. So Bjorn Ironside is a character. Made sense, and the way he went out made sense. Gunhild. A lot of people didn't like how Gunhild died. You know, Gunhild, Bjorn's wife. They set it up since episode 2 that she's kind of lost without Bjorn. And the next couple episodes, she either has to compromise herself to mirror King Harold with that stuff, or she's gonna stay with this. She's tired of life. She is tired of this whole political drama between who wants to become king, who wants to become queen, which person's gonna blackmail this person, which person's gonna backstab this person. She's tired of this life. All the great heroes are dead. Ragnar died, Lagertha, and Bjorn. She chooses suicide. She'd rather reunite with her husband in Valhalla. It makes sense. They build it up in episode 2 that she was tired of this life after the battle of episode 1. Since there's 10 episodes of the Vikings final season. In the second season, you can tell she doesn't want to be queen. She doesn't really want to do much, but she's pushing herself to. Then King Harold comes around in episode 3. She's still arguing with the other woman who wants to. She's arguing with Bjorn's other wife whether or not she wants to be queen or not, and how they're going to be against each other. Then she has this one guy named Eric Skogomore. He's basically wants her to be queen, but he wants to be with her and all this stuff. So she's just tired of this back-scheming lies. So it makes sense for her character to go out the way she did. People may not like that, but it made sense. King Harold and Ivar, they both wanted to die as Vikings. They had no more stuff to give. King Harold, he becomes king of all Norway, has a throne, but he doesn't want to. He still misses his brother who he killed for the throne. He still misses the life of being a Viking. He finds it boring. He doesn't want to be a ruler. It's not something that he really truly wants, so him going out in battle is the way he wanted to go. Ivar wanted to fight King Alfred. He wanted to go in the final battle, wanted to be remembered in battle. He doesn't want to be an old man and die in old age. He just doesn't want that. He wants to be remembered in glory Valhalla. He's been wanting this since he was a little kid, to be like his brother, to fight in battle. And to ultimately die in battle is what he would ultimately want it to be. He's a crippled, and he wanted to be the most feared Viking, and he was the most feared Viking. He wanted the last great battle, and King Alfred is the last king of England, and he's the one for Wessex only. King Alfred is the last king of England, also for the Christianity. And they want to take him down, King Harold and Ivar. So it makes sense why the characters went that direction. It makes sense that they lost. And it makes sense for the characters, I know it's not historically accurate, but it makes sense for the characters of where they want to go. And Alfred, he wants to stand up for the Christian faith. It makes sense for his character. Ube and Floki. Ube decides to leave Iceland to discover a new world. In this new world, he meets the Native Americans of North America. He meets them. And in this new world, he has a great conversation with this one character named out there. What do you see when you see this land? Do you want to see something of the old? Do you want to see something new? Why are you going to look at this land and do the same stuff you would do in an old world if you're not going to... what's the whole point of a new land if you're just going to treat it like the old? And the fact is that Ube basically not technically gives up being a Viking, but he gives up the lifestyle. He gives up the craziness of being a Viking. Because Ube was never one to... Because there's different aspects of Viking culture. You got the big fighters like King Harold, Ivar, Bjorn, who wants to die for the glory of Valhalla. Then you got the farmers, the ones who want to be traders. That who Ube was. That was his character, and he wanted peace and farming. He just wanted less headaches in the world. He didn't. He wasn't part for that life. So what is Vikings? How does Viking end? You have two sides, two brothers, two sons of Ragnar. They both go out in their own ways. One of them decides to let go of the sword and basically live a peaceful life with the natives. The other side, dies in the glory of Valhalla. Now, what does the Viking show ends with? It ends with the sons of Ragnar. The Viking show was all about Ragnar and his sons and what their culture was to the Viking influence. And how do Vikings go out? They didn't die because there was a max extermination of the people. No, they solely left the Viking culture and they converted to either Christianity or they left the religion. They left the religion, they died in battle, or they became into Christians. That's how Vikings in true life went out. So I think the director or the showrunner of Vikings understood the characters more, understood where it was going, and he made a fitting end to the Viking culture and to the characters in the Viking world. So characters that have a good ending, that make sense of what's happening. Yeah, compared to Game of Thrones. But some people want to say, oh, the writing is so bad. Like, some people were comparing, like, how Ivar in the final battle was just marching and nobody was killing him and all this stuff. They were going for the supernatural feel of Ivar being technically invincible and him having his last death. The end result is him dying. Yes, they could have done a realistic approach where Ivar is slowly going into the battlefield and some guy, like, group of 20 soldiers could just rush them and kill them. Which way do you want a character to go out? An epic way or the realistic way? Which we all know the realistic way wouldn't have been a great send-off to the character. I mean, what do you want? Oh, you want the Game of Thrones ones. Oh, you mean the Game of Thrones where they shot... Remember when the two dragons were flying and one of them got hit by, like, 3 arrows in a row? And then the next episode they couldn't hit for shit? Oh, you mean the Game of Thrones, the Battle of Winterfell? That shit where all the zombies were on top of everybody but couldn't kill Brienne, Jaime... And I know who was the other Sam, or Tormund and all that stuff. No. Or how they were breaking through armor. No. So people who tell me that Vikings finale was worse than Game of Thrones, you need to have your head on straight. Vikings understood its characters. Vikings understood its characters and where they were going, and ultimately what was the end goal of the Viking culture. That was the end goal. Now, they had some stuff that people probably didn't like, but King Eric and Ingrid and all that stuff. It makes sense why Eric... Again, it makes sense why Eric is the way he is. He was a Skogomor. He's a guy who's been banished from 2 other kingdoms. Why is that? He's ambitious. He wants to become king. He doesn't like Ingrid. They gave Ingrid a little bit of backstory. It kind of makes sense why she wants to kill Eric. It makes sense why she wants to become queen. She wants a higher status in life. It makes sense. None of the characters in Game of Thrones finale kind of made, like the Hound, made sense, his ending. Arya Stark, sort of. Sansa Stark, there you go. 3. Out of how many? I'm sorry. People who honestly compared a Game of Thrones finale to Vikings, again, your head's not on straight. You must drink too much. I mean, your idea of what it means, like your standards of bad finales is no. I mean, you guys set your standards straight. I mean, you guys are living in a fantasy world. But to me, Game of Thrones versus the Viking finale, it's a no-brainer. Vikings had a greater finale. Vikings understood its characters. Vikings understood where they were going and what was the end result going to be. There was a plan. Now, did everything run smoothly? No. But it was still a pretty dang great final season. I'll give the final season of Vikings probably a B+, A-. Game of Thrones finale? It ruined the show. I had an entire collection of Game of Thrones the seasons. I sold them. I got rid of them. Why do I want to rewatch the show where the characters are not going to go where they were? Daenerys Targaryen, oh, she's going to become queen. No, she's not really. So, I'm sorry. Game of Thrones the entire final season and Vikings? Sorry, can't help you. Game of Thrones the final season or compared to Vikings, I don't know what to tell you. Vikings had a superior show to Game of Thrones as a whole. And in the finale, this final season, Vikings is overall winner. So Vikings versus Game of Thrones, it's an obvious winner. Vikings. So everybody, what y'all think? You think the Game of Thrones final season was good? You think the Vikings final season was good? You think Game of Thrones season was better than Vikings final season? Let me know what y'all think, everybody. I'm actually curious to see what's your personal opinion about Game of Thrones or Vikings. Which one had a better season? Which one had a better final season? Which season you think did better with the characters at the end? This should be a no-brainer to anybody with a brain and logic. But since a lot of people are being little bitches for this shit, I just have to educate you. And I really shouldn't have said that, but then again, who the F cares? So Game of Thrones versus Vikings, what y'all think, everybody? Which one you think was a better season? Which one you think was a worse season? Let me know what y'all think, everyone. My name's Elise. Everybody. Bye-bye.